are you right now? If you answered Earth, the Milky Way, you answered like a human who's been told a story. But what if that's not the full answer? What if, quite literally, you are inside a game? This is not a metaphor. This is not a thought experiment. You are playing a game with rules you don't remember. I know that sounds shocking. I've said versions of this before. I used to think in theories, but something changed. What I believed once was only a story. Today, it's knowledge. I'm not asking you to accept it blindly. I'm asking you to listen and let your intuition check the tone of what I say. This video will map the game. I'll tell you what the game is, who the players are, what the rules hide, and, most importantly, how you can begin to play differently. Treat this information carefully. It is powerful, and not everyone is ready for it. Before we go deep, this content is sensitive, not because it's secret for secrecy's sake, but because it changes perspective. Share it responsibly. If you post it casually, it becomes noise. If you introduce it to the wrong person at the wrong time, it becomes a confusion trap. You are privileged to be watching this now. That doesn't mean you're special. It means you're ready. Use that readiness with care. Part 1. The game. Imagine a simulation. Not only screens and code, but an information-based architecture. A system of rules, frequencies, and constraints. In this structure, some beings design layers, some inhabit them, and some play. When I say game, I mean a frame where choices, challenges, opponents, and rewards exist. The world you see, your family, your work, your city, it's a stage. But the real mechanics operate within information, vibration, resonance, identity. Who made the game? Call them programmers, architects, designers, or simply the origin. They created conditions so that the player, you, would forget. Forgetting preserves free will. A game where everyone knew the rules would no longer be a game. Part 2. The purpose. Why place a player inside such an elaborate mask? Because the purpose is expansion. The designers want the game to produce an outcome. Consciousness, remembering itself. Not just knowledge, but a resonance, a frequency. The task is not accumulation. It's not power or wealth. It's remembering a vibration, the tone of your true self. Imagine your essence as a unique note in a cosmic harmony. The objective, tune back to that note and act from it. Part 3. Tools of the player. If this is true, what tools actually work inside the game? There are 3. Imagination, intuition, and heart. 1. Imagination. Your ability to create possibility. In-game, imagination changes parameters before your logic can catch up. Visualize outcomes. Design from feeling, not just facts. 2. Intuition, the direct channel from inner data. It's the hunch, the pull. It's not mystical noise. It's compressed information from parallel expressions of yourself. 3. Heart. Not sentimentality, but coherent resonance. The capacity to move from love, not fear. These are the weapons against the traps of the simulation. They're invisible but measurable by the change they create in your life. Part 4. The trap. Now, the problem. The game has players and it also has controllers. Some beings refuse the rules. Instead of accepting the risk of loss, they loop the system. They migrate, reuse bodies, and preserve identity beyond the intended limits. That creates an imbalance. The controllers seeded resonances that favor fear. Fear is contagious. Vibrations resonate. When enough entities vibrate in fear, the entire field drops frequency. Think of fear as a heavy tone that dampens the whole orchestra. This is why much of the world feels organized around scarcity, control, and division. Not by accident, because resonance can be engineered. Part 5. Figures who broke the rules. Some rare figures decided not to game the system. They chose a different play. They accepted being mortal within the stage. And in doing so, raised a vibration so high it cracked the cage. Jesus, spoken of here, not as a single religious icon, but as an archetype, a being who chose the true risk. He did not hide in rules. He gave up the mechanism of migrating identity. That sacrifice changed resonance. That's why his story persists. A template of playing the game from inside, authentically. This isn't about converting a faith. It's about recognizing a method. To impact resonance, you must be willing to participate fully rather than exploit the loopholes. Part 6. Memory lives in trauma. There are 2 paths to remembering. One is through access to other lives or timelines. Not nostalgic histories, but overlapping expressions of you. Think parallel timelines, each holding lessons. The second path is trauma. A childhood wound, a small, searing event can anchor your consciousness away from remembering. It's not dramatic sometimes, just a small cut that prevents you from turning back. Yet behind that cut sits the key. I'll be honest, I found my key during a personal, painful experience. In a moment of crisis, a piece of my past surfaced. Something small, but pivotal. That single insight unlocked a chain that reoriented my entire perception. If you carry a wound, do not use it as identity. Use it as data. Investigate, integrate, and let the stuck energy turn into motion. Part 7. Rules and freedom. The first rule of the game game, you don't know the rules. That's intentional. The blindness preserves choice. But once you see that this rule exists, you gain power. There are consequences to knowing. In the game's terms, certain knowledge disqualifies you from ordinary levels. You begin to perceive other densities. You're measured differently. That doesn't make you better. It makes the path different, tougher, and sometimes lonelier. If you're seeking comfort, this might not be it. If you're seeking truth and expansion, then the challenge is worth it. Part 8. How to play. Here are practical steps you can start performing today. These are micro habits to align you with the game's actual mechanics. Daily resonance. Check. 5 minutes. Sit quietly. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe for 5 minutes. Ask, what tone am I in? If fear, name it and shift. If curiosity, amplify it. Imagination exercise. 7 minutes. Visualize an interaction you want to have. Feel its outcome as though it happened. Place small simulations in your mind. The universe responds to rehearsals. Trauma, retrieval. 10 to 20 minutes weekly. Journal back to early childhood. Find the small cut. With compassion, reframe it. If it's too big, seek a safe guide. This is not mandatory, but it's catalytic. Heart amplification. Daily micro action. Do one act that expands someone else's heart. Unexpected kindness. This raises both parties' resonance. These are not magical panaceas. They are alignment practices. Consistency matters more than intensity. Part 9. The end game. What does winning look like? It's not worldly triumph. Winning is becoming indiscernible from the origin. So aligned that the system can register you the way it once did. You move through without being snagged. Those who can't or won't rise remain in other place. That's okay. There's no moral condemnation here. The cosmos allows for divergence. But if you chose this level, you chose the challenge. So play harder, more wisely, and with greater compassion. If this resonated with you, share this video carefully, only with those you feel ready to see it. Until then, remember, you did not accidentally show up here. You chose this level because you can win. Play.